Alrighty guys, if you're like me, you're probably asking yourself, in Fantasy Life I, when do I unlock the Farmer and Painter lives? Well, in this episode, I'm here to tell you exactly that. This will be your one spoiler warning. If you do care about big events that happen in the story, I will be going over them, so please, if you have not unlocked either of these lives yet, skip ahead if you want to where it says Farmer or Painter life down in the bottom. However, if you're okay with spoilers, we'll get right into it. The easiest way to explain what you have to do is that you have to progress to chapters 4 and 5 of the main story. If you didn't know there were chapters or don't know how to check them, you can go here to quests, and over here in the story recap, it will tell you what chapter you're on. I'm currently on chapter 6, however, you unlock the artist in chapter 5, and the farmer down here in chapter 4. It kind of explains what it is in the chapter title, so if you just want to know that, chapter 4 and chapter 5 is how you get the new lives. For a little bit more detail, first thing you want to do is you want to come to the guild office and you want to pay off all 10,000 dosh you owe to Auntie Anne. After you pay off the 10,000 dosh, you'll go on a series of quest lines that involve you healing up Skelegon over here and traveling back to your... It's the future where we are now, but it's technically the present. So, you'll end up going through some cutscenes and some events where you'll end up making it to Ginormosia here. This is your free roaming area in this game, and then you'll end up in the present. You'll explore the depths, and after a while, you will finally come to the place where you can unlock the Farmer live. So after exploring and completing a lot of the story quests, you'll run back into Carla here. She's kind of the antagonist for the depths. She always hits you right before you can start exploring new areas. So what she'll do here is she'll cast a spell, and you'll see Edward run on ahead, and he'll get trapped behind this big turnip. This is the start and how you know you're about to work towards the quest line that will eventually unlock the farming life. After that point, you'll end up coming to a string of quest lines where you go talk to Rem back in the past. You'll end up going to find her in Eternia Village. She'll then say, hey, I know exactly where we can find a farmer to help you remove that turnip, and it'll bring you here to Faraway Island. Once you've landed on Faraway Island, you'll progress through a series of very quick quest lines where you go through these woods, you end up meeting some leafs here, and then finally, after you've saved the Master Farmer, he will take you to this big tree right up here, the Elder Tree. So, once you've made it to the end of this quest line, you'll know you're there because you'll make it outside this big elder tree. You'll have all your friends there to help you out. The farmer will go ahead and make this dish for the elder tree. That's part of the main storyline where he teaches you how to farm and lets you make a dish that'll heal it. And then here in a second, after Rem has this little flashback here, we'll actually see that we will get a brand new equipment that'll help us break that big turnip that was blocking Edward in. So, at the end of this little quest line, this little cutscene, you'll go back to the village, and Inaji here will say, thanks to your help, I can raise my little vegetables safe and sound. Maybe I'll even start taking apprentices again. You seem to know your tomatoes for your turnips. Life of a farmer might suit you. And at this point, when this menu pops up, again, this is after you finish the entire quest line on Faraway Island, you can finally go become a farmer. So the final step you'll need to do is head back to the guild office. You do have to come here. You cannot go talk to Inaji right away. You'll come in here, you'll talk to Auntie Anne, you'll be like, I want to change life. You'll see the farmer class unlock here. You can just go ahead and click on it. Begin your life, and then you will start your little journey just like you did everyone else. And so the farming master is right over here. This is on Faraway Island. This is Inaji's house right by the spawn. So as soon as you fly into Adelia Village, it's at the very bottom. You can head into Inaji's house and he will be here. He's your master. You can talk to him. He'll start you on your quest line, just like every other starting quest that you have in this game. All you gotta do is complete a very quick tutorial that teaches you how to farm, and then you'll be able to take on the farming class. The farming life is very, very simple. The main purpose of the farming life is to collect veggies that you have in the ground. You can either plant these yourself or just find them out in the open. You can see there's some right over here by the start. There's also a ton right over here. I can actually teleport us over to Terrassa Farm. You'll see a ton of veggies that are already pre-planted. You're basically going to come to these veggies and you will go ahead and harvest them. So the way this minigame works is it's very, very simple. I think it's actually one of the most fun and like engaging mini games that we have for the crafting or the gathering lives. So you'll just walk up, you'll press A to get into the home menu. Now you can just walk around freely as long as you're on this plot of land. You can walk a little bit out of the ways, but you'll put your hoe away automatically. So when you're in here, you have a couple abilities you can do. You can press A to do your normal attack. Each veggie has its own health bar. You'll see there you'll slowly take down its health bar. You also have your special ability, your Y ability, your heavy attack. That does a little bit more damage, just like normal. You can go ahead and break it. Once you've broken the veggies, you'll get a ton of XP. I think it's one of the easiest ones to level up. You get a ton of loot from it as well. A couple other things you can do is you can press X. X has a bigger purpose later, but for the purpose of this, it does a little bit more damage than your Y attack. It also has quite a big range there. And the final thing you can do, just like every other class, is you have your special attack. So you can press LB plus Y, and it'll basically farm the entire plot. It does a ton of damage to every crop, and it is almost instantaneous. Now, that is basic crop farming. There is, however, one more type of crop I need to go over. So the final thing you can do for your farmer is you can find these giant vegetables. These have a random spawn, both in Ginormosia and where you can grow them yourself. I'll cover that here in a bit. But this has basically its own minigame to it. So this is a legendary version. Usually they're like level 20 or 30. This is just a more powerful version, so you can get legendary rewards from it. So I'll show off the minigame here. You can go ahead and press A to activate it, and you'll have a couple things. I'm going to explain it all before we get into it. At the top there, you have a gauge. That gauge does a little bit more damage the higher up it gets. So your goal is to actually fill that gauge. You can see down below my feet are these red arrows that become blue when you're standing on them or close to them. When you hit it, it will disappear, and you'll go ahead and build up your gauge. So the entire combat here is you walk around, you press A or basically attack on these red things, and you'll see that gauge will slowly start filling up. If you have your X ability, you can actually use that, and you'll see it will actually make a massive jump on that gauge. You'll also see our combo meter, which are the words appearing over the gauge, like on fire right now, is currently maxed out at on fire. That means we are doing more damage and getting the maximum buildup on the gauge. So you basically just walk around. I like to walk around pressing X on all these blue ones until we hit that orange tier, the highest tier. So we'll go one more just to make sure it maxes out. Barely missed that one, so we'll go again. You'll see if you miss, you actually reset to good, and you have to work back up. So good, very good. Great. I believe the next one is excellent. Wonderful. And then there we go, we're on fire. So now that we're in the top tier, you have a couple things you can do. I like to do my hold A charge attack, which can hit multiple blues at the same time and do a bunch of damage to these enemies. If I see one, I just do an X. The other thing you can do is you can use your special ability. So we'll use our LB and Y. That hits a massive area as well. Does a ton of damage to these big monster veggies. There are versions of this for every veggie in the game. So kind of just experiment with it. There's a chance these randomly spawn whenever you grow your own veggies, or they're going to spawn here in Ginormosia as these legendary variants. This legendary variant is going to give me a ton of XP. And look at that. We also get a changeling from that. So let's check this one out. Unfortunately, we already had this one, so all we get are some Celestia gifts. But yeah, those are the giant vegetables that will give you higher chance, like the higher rare drops, and very fun to fight. I actually think that's a very fun minigame and takes a different approach than all the other gathering minigames do. And so the last thing I want to talk about for the farmer is the ability to farm here at home base. So at the present, you have your base camp. Your base camp lets you create houses for your villagers. It lets you customize. You can do a whole bunch of stuff at base camp. If you want to see more about that, let me know down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to cover it. However, this is more of your slow life RPG like area. This is where you can do all sorts of fun things, very similar to games like Animal Crossing. But what else you can do here is you can farm and plant your own crops. So to do that, first you want to head into the guild. And you want to go talk to Cook here. Cook will let you do a ton of things, including building a farm. So you can see here in the top left corner, it'll tell you how many farms you can have. I already have 7 farms, but you can also build them, relocate them, or remove them. So you'll go ahead, you'll build a farm. I'm going to go ahead and build a carrot farm. So we'll go ahead and buy a carrot farm. It'll give you a building kit we need to go place down. And then we'll go ahead, head back out, and find a good spot to place our carrot farm. So I've arranged all my farms over here to the right of the guild hall. So what I'll do is I like to use LB to go into Hagron mode, just because I think it's a little bit easier than trying to place it yourself. It also gets all the villagers to disappear. You'll just go into your inventory, and then you can head on over here to your facilities, and you can choose your carrot farm. You go ahead and place it down. It'll show you what it'll end up looking like, and just build here. Now, we just got to wait for it to build, so we'll exit Hagron build. There's a couple things you can do while you wait. So as you saw, each farm has about 9 plots, 9 little spots that you can do. So you head on in here, you can actually buy some seeds from Marco here. He sells every seed that you can currently plant, so you just head on over to materials, or it's in consumables here. You'll head down, and you'll see we have radish seeds, carrot seeds, pumpkin seeds, potato seeds, onion seeds, and cabbage seeds. You unlock more as you go. I think the next one you can get is this shadow carrot seed. However, we don't currently have access to it. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and say, oh, we'll buy some carrots. I'm actually already holding on to 18 carrot seeds here. But if you want to, you can pick some more up, like these radishes. I'm actually empty, so we'll go ahead and buy 9. Because again, each plot holds 9. So go ahead and grab that. And then we'll head back outside. Our plot should be done any second now. And when it is done, you'll see it disappear off to the right there. It'll say it's completed. You just walk up to it and press A, and you'll have your plot built. Next thing you want to do is you want to plant your seeds. You just go to each plot, press A to plant them all, and then once they're all planted, you actually need to water them. So you'll go up to each one. It'll kind of harvest in a little area. I like to stand on the center one, face one direction, walk forward and turn around, and then harvest the other 3. Sometimes you miss one, so you just need to harvest that one, or water that one. And then that is all you have to do for farming. If it's raining, it will automatically water your plants. Just like in most games, as I'm sure you could expect. If you don't plant them or water them, they will wither and die, so you need to make sure you water them. At this point, I have done some testing. You need to wait about 45 minutes in-game. So go do whatever you want to do. Go explore Ginormorzia. Go ahead and start completing some quests. You can go ahead and do some of your life challenges here if you want to, but basically you just have to play for about 45 minutes. After those 45 minutes have passed, you will actually see this little area. They're little sprouts, so you can go ahead and harvest your sprouts, or water your sprouts. Want to make sure you hit all of them, and then once they're all watered, you have to wait 45 more minutes. Again, this is an estimate, but every time I've played, I have counted about 45 minutes, come back, and it is ready to go. I've tested at 30 minutes, 30 minutes didn't work. I tested at 15, 15 didn't work, but 45 seems to be the sweet spot. So after about an hour and a half, making sure you water twice unless it's raining, you will have full-grown crops. Once full-grown crops are here, you can harvest them just like you could every other crop, and there's a chance that one of those big guys will appear. If those big guys appear, they'll actually take up this entire plot of land. You can harvest them just like normal. You'll get a ton more crops than you would normally, as well as some special resources. Also, while you're harvesting crops, there's a chance they drop seeds. Those seeds are used here. You just walk up, plant your seeds, and then water them. And that's about it for the farming life. You might be asking, well, what are these veggies used for? Well, from what I've found, there's 2 uses for them. 3 uses for them, technically. The first is that you can craft. If you come in here, you'll see in the cooking, a lot of these require different things. As far as I've seen, black pepper, salt, and chicken, things like that, either drop from enemies or you just have to buy. However, some of them, such as this right here, this hamburger steak, actually requires an onion. That onion is what you gathered from harvesting. Same here, you got some radishes, some carrots. I don't know if you can get sweet corn or tomato just yet. I haven't unlocked them. So yeah, that is one purpose. They can be used in your cooking. I would always recommend cooking them because if you cook them, they'll sell for more. The other purpose for them is actually just selling them straight up. So if you come to Marco or any other shop, you can just go to sell, go to your consumables, I believe is what they are classified as. And let's look here. I have a ton of things here. Maybe they are in resources. So we'll just look through here real quick, and we should be able to find them. You can see I have a ton of stuff. We'll just look at this Gordy pumpkin. This is basically just a rarer version of the regular pumpkin. You can sell it for 40, or you can go ahead and craft it into a food item, which can either be used or sold. So those are the first 2. And then the third that you actually might not know about is in Ginormorzia. So if you have not explored Ginormorzia and found any of the towns, I highly recommend you do so, because there is one more thing you can do with these veggies.
Can we talk?
So if you come to any of these like monster hideouts that you freed, there's this one right here at Hanawa Hamlet. You start the game right here, so it's just right down here to the southeast. Right in front of these will almost always be one of these little ever shops. These ever shops will let you earn some acorns. So what you'll do is you'll come in, there's 6 slots, and you can just choose to put some veggies on display here. So let's say I want to sell some carrots. I have an excess. I can sell a max of 5. I put them on display, and then people will just randomly come and buy these. Again, just play the game. Come check on these every once in a while. There'll be some acorns waiting for you. There is one more instance that can happen. We'll go check this shop right over here at Buffalo Base. This is the second one I found. I believe there's probably 4 of these little hideouts in the game. However, I have currently only found 2. I'm unfortunately very lacking in Ginormosia, so make sure you explore this area. It's a super cool area to be at. We have another shop right down here. Unfortunately, it's not here, but sometimes right there on the right, you'll actually see veggies that are more favorited. So if you throw those favorited veggies there, so like sometimes it'll say carrots, any version of carrot will actually sell for more. So I believe typically you only get like 5 acorns per, but it'll sell for a lot more. So just make sure you're constantly checking Ginormosia. If you have the veggies, go ahead and throw them on display. They're basically just free income, and considering if you have played through this area, the acorns are very, very hard to come by, so it's a very quick way to make them. So if you enjoy the farming aspect of games like Stardew Valley or any other slow life game, I highly recommend you check out the Farmer class. It's very fun, very relaxing, and honestly one of the easiest ones to level up. You can see a lot of these challenges right here. These quests are just like harvest things, and which means it's almost all passive. All you have to do is plant some seeds, come back in 45 minutes, water them one more time, come back in 45 minutes after that, and harvest them for one last time. I'll show off the skill board real quick. It's very, very simple to everything else. You have your charged attacks over here. You have your special skills up top, your farming to the right, and some XP and SP gains down below. Very, very simple. Very much the same as all the other Gathering Lives. And so now, let's talk about the painter. So just like with the farmer, for the artist, you want to go ahead and progress the main story just a little bit. If you've already cleared out the farming turnip, you can go ahead and just proceed through the depths. Once you get to the second floor, you'll run into these 2 little heads right here, and Carla will come back out. She'll do her usual speech where she'll say, oh, you can't keep following me. She'll cause some problems. She'll actually blow up this statue head right here with her Obstara Vexus, which will cause the statue to blow up. And to progress, you actually have to fix it. You'll see here in a second, Edward will run through the door and try to make her mad. She'll trap you, and the only way through will actually be to learn how to be an artist. And so, just like the farmer class, you'll want to progress just a little bit, talk to Rem, and she'll end up bringing you to the Tropica Isles here. This is in the past. It'll just be right here in the bottom left. You'll have a little quest you have to complete here, where you'll go through basically this little treasure hunt. You'll find some spots. It'll be really cool. You'll actually make it to the Yo-Ho-Ho Cavern, where you'll meet the artist. She'll end up telling you to revert her. She is a shapeling just like everybody else. And when you do so, you'll enter this cool little art contest. And so at the end of this little quest line, you'll go through this. It'll teach you how to be an artist. It'll teach you the basics of the minigame. And you'll see this little art contest here where they announce that Paulette, the master artist, is the winner of your art contest. Unfortunately, your painting doesn't win. However, once you see this little dialogue between Kikyo and Paulette here, Paulette will actually tell you that she'll make you her apprentice. So right here she goes, as for you, I definitely see potential there. If you're interested in art, stop by my studio and see me. Now that Kikyo is back in action, I've been thinking about taking on an apprentice. And there you go. You'll unlock the ability to get the artist's life. And so just like every other life, you'll come in here to the guild office for your first time. You'll talk to Auntie Anne. Go ahead and you do your changed life. You'll see the artist life down here in the bottom right unlocks, and you'll be able to equip it and start your new life. We'll go ahead and move to the nearest workbench because it'll actually take us, I believe, exactly where we need to go. No, it doesn't. It takes us to Hammerhead. That's hilarious. Well, I will show you guys where the master is real quick. So right here at Tropica Isles, this is exactly where you land, right here on the dock. You'll just head on up here, and you'll actually just go talk with Paulette again, just like your farming life. It's just the person you did your quest line with. So right up here, you'll find Paulette's Atelier. You'll go ahead, you'll complete your starter quest, or skip it, whichever you choose to do, and you'll finally unlock the artist class. The artist life is very, very simple. Just like every other crafting life, all you do is walk up to a workbench. You can go to craft, and you can choose what you want to make. However, unlike all the other ones, there's actually no art area here. What I found is that most of the art is actually here in objects. So there's two things you need to worry about. First is almost everything you've collected up to this point that you didn't have a purpose for is used for art. In fact, all these paints you need are those white and red and blue and all those anthuriums you've been collecting. I had a ton. I think I had like over 50 yellow anthuriums. You can see there I have 34 yellow paints. I had a ton. I just went ahead and converted it all into paints. That is finally the purpose for these anthuriums. However, you do need it for every single art project. So we can go check out a couple here. I'll just come over to the furniture. It's the easiest place to find it. And I find it usually near the bottom. And this is finally where you can start making your walls and your flooring patterns that you want, as well as it gives you a purpose for your legendary fish you've caught up to this point. So you can see here, the forest lordfish and the cherry lordfish can actually be used in prints. So yeah, it's very fun. Most of this is just used for decoration. However, it's probably your best way to get decoration. There's tons of walls and floorings you can do. So I'll just show off one right now. We'll go ahead and do this forest wall. I think this actually looks pretty cool. We'll go ahead and craft it. I actually have two painter buddies, so I started off as a really, really good spot. And this plays just like every other crafting minigame. Except I personally think this looks cool because of that right there. When you get to click this really fast, you see that paint fly everywhere. I think it looks awesome. I think this truly is my favorite looking of the crafting minigames. However, just like all the other ones, there's not much to it. It's roughly the same as all the other ones, just with a little different spin on it. And so you'll see right here, I complete it. I should get a grate here. I'm pretty sure that was a great job. Just a good job. Okay, that was a little bit of a harder wall anyways. You go ahead and craft your wall, and then you can level up. It's just the same as every other crafting recipe, however, has a little bit of a painter aesthetic, which is really, really cool. The final thing I've found to use the arts for is actually the gallery. The gallery is a brand new building you unlock whenever you get the painter life. So all you do is you come in here, you talk to Cook. You can actually go to gallery, and then you can choose to build your gallery. Just like everything else in this game that you've built, which I won't go over in this episode because you've probably been building at this point if you're this far in. If you haven't, you might not like these games. But you'll go down, you'll place it wherever you wish to, you'll wait for it to build, and then you'll unlock your gallery. Inside the gallery, though, it's really, really cool. You have 4 spots on the ground, and I believe 5 spots on the wall. All you have to do is walk up to it, you can press A, and you can actually place furniture and paintings to display. So I don't have any more, but you can see here I did display this these 2 fish paintings. So yeah, it's kind of like the museum in Animal Crossing if you want to think of it that way. However, it's just to display things for you to see in your island, and there's actually a chance that a villager, if they like it, will come buy it from you. So that's a really, really cool thing. So if you do enjoy the crafting mini games in this, and you enjoy art, the artist is definitely the way for you to go. The final thing I want to do is quickly give my recommendations for these 2 classes, just like I did in my previous video. So, the artist is very much a stand-alone class. I haven't seen any other life that interacts with it just how it is. It's a life that relies very heavily on either money to buy things, or you going and gathering. However, I've seen that there is some wood and some mining in it, so I guess if you do want to go artist, your best bet is to choose a combat life for some monster parts as well as wood cutting, mining, and I guess the biggest one is angler, because the angler lets you make the full-on paintings of the different legendary fish. So if you want to do artist, I at least recommend doing angler because you do need it to complete some of the artist challenges. As for the farmer here, I've personally had a lot of fun with the farmer. I think it's the most engaging of all of these 4 gathering lives. However, if you are doing the farmer, you might as well do the cook. There is no reason to farm if you're not going to be cooking it, unless you just want to sell it for really, really cheap money. However, you're just going to be buying stuff for cook anyways. So if you want to do the farmer, also go into cook, and also, please, please don't do what I did. Don't neglect Ginormosia. Please make sure you go here. You can not only find legendary crops and just a ton of crops out here in the open, but also you can go to any of these villages and sell them for really, really cheap acorns. And so at this point, that is every life in the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and helps make sure you don't miss any upcoming videos. If you do like Fantasy Life I, please make sure to check out the Let's Play series I have going on right now. Right now we're on the 20th episode as of filming right here. It has been a delight, a fantastic game, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. I will see you all in the next one.